us go then.
Hey. Oh, hey,
Hi.
Zach. I need you to do something. I need you to scoot a little bit towards me.
I'm gonna pretend like I like you.
All right. Hopefully not have to pretend too hard. Hi, guys.
Not too hard.
This is totally our first time recording this episode.
And we're not doing it at 11 o'clock at night because, why would
Whoa.
we do that?
I muted it.
Oh,
Oh, it's bad. Oh, wait a second.
hold on.
Wait. 3, 2, 1. Boom!
There we go. Welcome.
That's what I like to see.
Welcome to the King Smith Podcast with your host, Short and Skinny.
Yes. Short and skinny. Yes.
Yes.
It's two different. Yes. That's how that works.
Which, translation, I'm Zach, he's Nathan. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How about you, Zach?
I'm doing all right.
Okay.
So, Nathan,
Yes, Zachary.
what are we going to talk about on this totally not re-recorded podcast?
Well, on this totally not re-recorded podcast that the audio totally didn't screw up on.
That we didn't have, numerous technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Difficulties. That was about how the last episode went.
Yeah, the last
recording.
episode, it got about 20 minutes in, and the audio was just like, bye.
But anyway,
See ya. Yeah.
so what are we going to talk about, Nathan?
Well, we have a lot of things we're going to talk about. So we were going to do an episode recap, but
It's been a while.
because the episode didn't work last week, it's hard to recap an episode that never.
Existed.
Yeah. But we're going to talk briefly about some political type stuff. But we're going to try to focus more on the NFL training camp and stuff going on with inside the NBA and other TV shows and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, we're just
Right.
going to focus on sports for the most part.
By the way, if you guys are finding our channel through this podcast, which, welcome, we're not entirely unprofessional most of the time. But go check our channel out. There are some other videos that we do, including shorts,
Yes,
nerd videos,
absolutely.
and explaining NFL rules.
Yes.
So just give our channel a check out if you feel like it. Subscribe.
Just also some mixing content, how my mixing workflow works.
Right.
That's coming up.
All
So,
right. Anyway,
yeah. Anywho's.
so some interesting political news happened over the past couple weeks, Nathan.
Yeah, and honestly, I think more important news happened after we recorded.
Well, yeah,
Because we recorded before.
we recorded.
right?
We recorded. Yeah, we recorded before, and then.
And then the big bombshell came.
Then the big bombshell came.
So this past weekend, obviously Joe Biden dropped the race.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris took over all in one night, basically.
Right.
Yeah, or in one day.
Yeah, in
Mhm.
the span of roughly little over 24,
It was
about 12 to 24 hours.
not even that. I think it was like 7 hours that things transitioned over.
Basically, pretty much Biden dropped the race, and
Yep.
2 hours later, it was like Kamala is taking his place. Anyway,
Right. So that happened.
Trump announced his VP pick, which
JD Vance.
I think both of us are happy with.
Yeah. I was
More or less.
surprised. I'll admit, I was surprised.
I think
But-
in the original recording we said we both had optimistic views on it.
Yeah.
It was we
Hopefully optimistic.
hopeful
Yeah.
optimism. Just like we don't know what's gonna happen, but
Mhm.
it looks like the future is bright. Anyway,
I hope.
I hope-
Well, see, whichever way things end up going in the fall,
Right.
or I guess the winter, depending. Well, depends on what state you live in, I guess.
the fall winter.
Winter, in the winter, whatever happens, God's in control.
Yep.
I mean, sure, Zach and I got our views, and not everybody will agree with them. Maybe more people agree with them. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. It's all up in the air right now. Some
Right.
interesting. It's definitely a fun time to be alive.
Yep.
Definitely a fun time to be alive.
Right.
That's for sure.
Anyway,
So
Yep. So, with all that done,
yeah. All right.
think that's
So
about it.
that's really all we need because everything else kind of has been beat to death by
other people.
other podcast companies. So NFL training camp. Zach, this is something that you've been real big about. So why don't you go ahead and start with that?
Well, are we starting with training camp, or are we going with like inside the NBA and stuff like that?
Oh, let's do training camp.
Let's
Yeah, NFL stuff. Yeah.
All right. So, this over the course of this last week, when we initially recorded this podcast, the rookies and the quarterbacks had reported for training camp, and
Yes.
over this last week, the rest of the veterans, excluding the quarterbacks, have joined them and are
Mm-hmm.
getting practices and stuff in for
Right.
preseason games, and then there are some new faces here that people are seeing out there, or some old faces that people want to see succeed but haven't yet, and there are some older faces that have been succeeding over the past few years, and we are just anxiously waiting to see if they're if they're going to continue that successful path or not.
Right.
So, Nathan,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Answer.
What are your hopes, dreams, and otherwise fanciful things for this upcoming season?
Well, so I think in the last episode I said I want to see us get past the second round of the playoffs. Because for whatever reason for the Packers, the second
Right.
round is always just a
Right.
curse. We can always get to the first round. And our December pattern, even though last year we kind of broke with tradition with losing a
Right.
couple games, we also won a bunch.
Uh-huh.
We won one right at the end of December and then the first two in January. So
Right.
our winter season, like deep winter, usually brings us back into like the seventh
Right.
seed, sixth seed, fifth seed, like the bottom of the seeds
Right.
or
Yes.
wild card territory.
Right.
So I want to see us do a little bit better than that. I want to see us a little bit higher. I think we can be successful at it given what the NFC North looks like this year.
Right.
I think our biggest contender is going to be the Lions.
Right.
I don't think Minnesota or Chicago are going to be anywhere close to the Packers or the Lions this year. I just don't think
Hold
it's
on.
there.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know we've discussed this many times.
Okay.
I think you guys are going to do good. You're probably going to be number 2 I think you're going to be number 2, because I think the Lions are going to be a little bit more hungry this next year, considering how far they got last year. So I think they're going to be a
Fair.
little bit. I
Fair.
think the Lions are going to be a little bit more dangerous this year.
They're hungry.
They're hungry.
The problem is that they got a quarterback that doesn't know what they're doing,
Right.
and that makes me nervous for them.
Right.
Happy for me,
And-
but nervous for them.
And I hate to say this, Nathan, but one good half of a season does not inherently mean everything.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Jordan Love's going to do good. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, it was a first time starting
Right.
quarterback thing to do. Like the
Right.
first half of last season, he was mid.
Right.
He was pretty mid, and people were nervous. And then
Right.
all of a sudden, the Thanksgiving Lions game happened,
And
and he
then-
was just like, "I'm Pat Mahomes Jr."
Right.
Like, holy crap!
Um,
Like, you just dropped
yeah.
a deuce on him like no other.
right.
But and then the next game was the Chiefs, and he just destroyed the Chiefs too.
Right.
So, which was satisfying for multiple reasons.
Right.
Sorry,
I will
I'm playing
say.
with fire there, but
I will say. You guys just obliterating the Cowboys in the playoffs.
well,
It's always satisfying.
that was amazing.
That was amazing.
I didn't care about any other
Yeah.
game. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
real with you.
So yeah,
that
honestly,
was all I needed.
the way I see your season going is you're gonna probably be number 5 or number 6, which isn't bad. That gets you into the dance. What
Yeah.
you guys do from there?
Well, see if you look at it too, the Chiefs barely made it in last year too,
Right,
and then all of a sudden we're unstoppable.
right,
For whatever reason, it's like the Chiefs' curse. Like anybody who goes against the red
right.
just They
Well,
can't get
Okay.
past it.
Okay. Think about it this way. I'm gonna compare Mahomes to Tom Brady, and I know
That's a sin.
that's a sin.
Cardinal sin.
I'm not saying Mahomes is the GOAT yet.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yet.
Thank you. That's a change in tone from the last time we recorded this
I'm
episode.
saying yet, but I think this could be a big step forward into that
If he wins.
into that conversation. And number 2, Mahomes is having a Tom Brady like trajectory right now.
Yes.
Because there were several years in the Patriots dynasty, and I'm sure you remember, Nathan,
Oh, yeah.
that the Patriots would look like crap the entire season.
Yep.
And then come playoff time, they flipped the switch and were like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, we have the GOAT.
Right. But so, and I've said this several times on the podcast, off the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
in several conversations. The quarterback in the league right now that has the best chance at having a Tom Brady like career is Mahomes.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
And I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he won't. I'm just saying
Right.
he has the best chance at this moment in time.
Right.
He's already won 3. He's gone back to back, and
And they
Okay.
could three-peat.
and they could
And
three-peat.
they're going to be a dangerous team this year.
Right. They could three-peat. And I'm just going to say, if they three-peat and Mahomes ends up with the same amount or more rings as Brady had,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Then if that happens, I'll put it this way: if Pat Mahomes gets a three-peat this year with the Super Bowls, if they do it, and I think there's a very, very, very high chance that they do it, but if they
Right.
do it, if they don't let themselves get too cocky,
Right.
because that was their problem last year, they got cocky,
Uh-huh.
and even Travis admitted that.
Right.
But if they get cocky, they're going to be in trouble.
Right.
If they can keep it calm, if they can keep their head low and
Right.
play the game that they know how to play, they're gonna have another ring.
Right.
They are. I mean, seriously, you got your draft this year was
Right.
A+, A-star.
Your draft this year wasn't that bad.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was, that people got after Brian Gutekunst, however you say his name. I think it's Gutekunst.
Right.
And rightfully so. I think, 6 or so years ago, he deserved it, and that's why
Right.
everybody, myself included, everybody was really skeptical about
Right.
the draft picks he was making.
Uh-huh.
But now we see, okay, somebody 5 or 6 years ago must have
Right.
got a hold of him and said, Brian, if
Listen,
you want this job,
you got
you have to have a roadmap.
right.
And you got to know what you're doing. And
And
that roadmap was, let's make the team younger.
right. And again, at that time, you still had Aaron. You
Yes.
still had to say, okay, Aaron's Aaron. You're gonna have to work around him.
Well, and I mean that's the thing. He was so good, but we had him for sure. He was a franchise quarterback.
Right.
He had the franchise tag, and so every year he was just the GOAT. And
Right.
even Tom Brady has said, I think Rodgers is better.
Right.
Rodgers is an incredible. In fact, I think he's going to be. Rodgers is such a good player.
Right.
I think this is probably going to be his last or maybe second to last season.
Right.
He might have a couple more in him, but I don't think he's got much left in the tank.
Of course, he has a couple more in him.
He's
he's gonna-
40. He's
he's-
the oldest player in the league.
He's gonna retire, and then he's gonna go play for the Vikings.
No, no, no. Oh no, no. See,
He's gonna follow in Brett's footsteps.
he broke the curse because what was it? Brett played for the Jets for a season and then
Right.
quit, and then went to the Vikings like instantaneously.
Right.
So,
It's
the difference is that Aaron Rodgers broke his heel, so his paper mache bone syndrome. Freaking well, actually, it wasn't that. It was his tendon, whatever, the
Right.
Achilles tendon. But
Well, his entire body's made out of paper mache.
he's been paper mache. I mean,
I don't know how his body
People-
supports that massive ego.
the only person that has maybe more paper mache in terms of ego would be when Tom Brady was like the tuck rule,
Right.
and like when he got touched in the shoulder blade and he was
Uh-huh.
like,
No.
you know, and they threw a flag for him.
No. You're right.
But
Now,
Jordan Love, man.
you're right. Now, if I can touch on the NFC North again. So I said before, you guys are probably going to be number 5. You're going to be second in the division.
Right.
Provided the Lions don't pull the Lions.
Oh man, if they do that again,
Right. But
that's gonna be the saddest thing.
But-
I'll be happy, but it'll be the saddest thing for them fans. They deserve a win. They should have been in the Super Bowl.
honestly,
And honestly, I think if they made it,
they probably would have won.
I think they would have won.
Anyway,
I don't like Kyle Shanahan.
nobody likes Kyle Shanahan except for
Nobody.
Kyle Shanahan. But anyway,
That's a quote. Yeah.
but anyway, we've talked about the Lions and the Packers. The other two teams we really haven't mentioned. The Vikings have always had talented rosters that
Yeah.
they have somehow wasted.
Well, yeah, they get so trigger happy and okay, who was it? Dobbs.
Yeah,
I almost said
Josh.
Romeo.
Josh,
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Joshua Dobbs comes in cold, hasn't practiced with the team at all last season, and kills it for like 2 or 3 games.
Yep.
He's like record-setting games, and then he has one game where he was just not with it. Whatever it was, he just
Was in the
wasn't hitting it.
Right.
And what'd they do to him?
Benched him.
Benched him, and he hasn't seen the light of day since.
Right.
And that Josh Dobbs is a starting top-tier quarterback. He could be leading teams into the Super Bowl. He's a great quarterback. I
Uh-huh.
hope they don't Carson Wentz this kid.
Right.
I hope they don't. If they do it, oh man, that's going to be a waste of talent. They're going to give him all sorts of anxiety. He's not going to be able to perform like the player that he is supposed to be.
Then he'll go back up, be a backup on the Chiefs for a
He
year.
probably will be, and then all of a sudden he'll be the GOAT again. But that brings a good question. Okay, before we get into that question, Jordan Love. We mentioned training camp.
Right.
Boy's not at training camp.
Uh-oh.
They got me sweating, man.
Well, I think a deal will get done.
I think so too, but it's one of those things where
You're like,
it's like this
You're-
is taking longer than I wanted to,
It's
guys.
yeah, it's that nervous laughter of reaching behind my neck here and kind of laughing and
It's like,
Yeah, come on.
Brian, sign the check. You know, make
Yeah.
him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, please.
yeah,
If he's that good, if his off season is as good as what people are saying, and I can believe the hype with him, partly because I want to, but the other part of it is I'll admit my bias. But the other part of it is he proved that he can do it. And
right,
he was making some throws that were like right on the money. He was
Right.
throwing good. It was definitely a change of confidence from when we saw him in person here.
right,
Because
definitely,
yeah, no, it's crazy. So,
right.
but anyways, that brings me to my question earlier. Carson Wentz going to the Chiefs after
Yep.
being out for a few years.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, man?
Now, here's the thing.
How old is he?
Here's the thing about Carson. He has the talent. Like the talent's there
Yeah,
for Carson.
he's
It's
31.
It's there. The problem with Carson was he got injured, watched his backup go and win the Super Bowl,
Right.
and then
Oh, yeah,
came
no
back
fools.
and was off his game for a little bit, and everybody started dogging on him.
Right.
Which I'm like, come on, guys. He had a major injury late in the season last season.
Yeah.
Give him some time to get back up to speed.
Well, even when okay, Rodgers, he got
Yeah.
hurt, right?
Uh-huh.
He's gonna take a sack
Right.
probably this season to get back with it, but then he'll probably be fine.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Excuse me. Now, there is one team in the NFC in your division that has been hyped up a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't necessarily trust it.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Bears.
Yeah, they've been hyped up, and I don't trust it at all. Absolutely not.
Okay, have they done more this offseason than previous years to set up their quarterback to succeed? Yes, I'll admit that.
Yeah, but they don't have a quarterback.
Right.
I'm just saying. I mean, they got a
They got an
guy
unknown.
that they've
They-
got fresh out of college, but
They have an unknown at quarterback right now. However, just because you take the clear-cut top guy when you should
mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it's going to succeed. All right?
Right.
Now, do I think Caleb Williams will have a bad career? Don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know.
But I'm just saying the Bears have had two quarterbacks drafted high in the draft.
Yeah.
Before, Justin Fields didn't work. I don't know what they did.
I don't know what they did to that.
I don't know what they did.
Something's wrong there.
I think he'll actually do good in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think he'll do good in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh because now they're giving him the chance to sit behind Russ.
Yep.
Who's okay, not the greatest, but still. They're giving him a chance to sit behind some.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Russ versus Justin. Who's getting benched?
Okay, here's the thing. I think Russ is going to start the season, but about week 6 or week 7, benched.
You think it'll be that long?
Probably.
I think it'll be week 3. I think week
Yeah.
3 they're gonna at the minimum. I
I
think
can
in
see-
week 3 they're gonna start the conversation, and by week
Right.
4 they'll make the decision.
Right.
I think so.
I have a similar thing. I think it's similar. I think week 3 they'll start the conversation, and I think Russell will have Russell come out in week 4 and have a good game. In week 5 in week 4 he'll have a good game, and that'll give him the starting job in week 5. And then week 5 he'll have a bad game again, and then week 6.
Well, if Russ is anything to go off of, he'll just suck until the last minute,
Right.
and then have like one Hail Mary, freaking amazing game.
Right.
But
And I
I don't know. Ever since his stint with the Sea Chickens,
Right.
I've never trusted him.
At the very least, at the very most, it'll probably be mid-season by the time, and Russ will be benched by the time mid-season rolls around.
Right. Yeah,
And
at the very latest.
At the very latest, it'll be mid-season. Russ will get benched, and Justin will come in.
Justin will
and
come out and
actually be
help him.
kind of help him.
Yep.
Now getting back to the Bears, the other quarterback.
Overrated.
I know. The other quarterback that they got, Mitch Trubisky, I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him too, man.
Because he came onto the scene with Pat and with Deshaun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pat didn't start for the first year, for the rookie year.
Right. Best decision y'all ever made.
Really good decision.
Yep.
But also Pat landed in the perfect situation for him.
Right.
For Pat. We gotta admit that.
Alex led him into the perfect situation.
You have a good head coach and a good mentor and a quarterback.
Yeah.
That was a really good situation for Pat.
Yeah, he was in the golden goose situation.
Mitch, rookie year, was decent.
He was okay.
But the other problem was, Deshaun's also starting rookie year, and Deshaun looked like
Deshaun looked awesome.
Deshaun looked like the next coming of Peyton Manning, who was just a
Mhm.
super talented quarterback. I don't need to sit a year. I'm just riding my talent.
And now he's got an uphill battle to fight again.
Now-
He's got to earn that trust back.
Now he's got an uphill battle to fight.
Yep.
And I'm tired of people talking about the off the field issues. Stop it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, guys. Knock it off.
Stop beating the dead horse.
Yep. It's
And
over.
It's over.
The sanctions are done.
2.
Second chance.
Now he's got to prove that he can get back into Houston form.
Is he? So where is he playing again?
Cleveland.
The Browns. Okay, is he
Yeah.
starting?
Yes.
Good. I want to see him do well.
Now, getting back to
I'll
Mitch.
probably draft him as my backup for fantasy.
Getting back to Mitch. Okay. He was decent. He was a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would if he had a good supporting cast, probably would have won a Super Bowl or 2.
Right.
well, then your number 2 Pat bursts on the scene is just like, hey, I'm here now. And Pat just goes off.
Right.
Now Mitch is like, oh crap.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Now
yeah.
now I have to contend with Peyton Manning and
And yeah.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning and Peyton Manning Jr. the Manning brothers.
Just the entire Manning family.
Well, that could be happening actually.
Right.
If nephew Manning makes it to the NFL.
Yeah. Anyway.
He's been tearing it up too.
Yeah.
In the college stuff. Like,
Yeah.
holy smokes.
I'm kind of excited to see where he goes from here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
that might actually get us interested in college football.
We got to buy Madden College. Not
You mean college football 25?
EA 25 College.
Not
We
the pro one. Not the pro one, the college one.
We got to buy Madden College. Oh,
Okay.
That was a stupid moment.
But yeah. So,
That was a
yeah,
goldfish moment for me.
right. All I'm saying in terms of just what my point with bringing up Justin and Mitch, I'm trying to keep going, and he's just here acting like a toddler.
Madden College.
My
Sorry.
my point with bringing up the Bears in regards to Justin and Mitch is that seeing them fail with 2 top 10 quarterbacks before doesn't give me a lot of faith that they'll do Caleb any favors.
You know what I think their main problem is?
Your face.
I think their main problem is Madden College. No, I think their main problem, Zach, really, you're gonna think I'm crazy.
Well, you are, but
I
that's
think it's
beside
their-
the point.
I think it's their color scheme. Brown and blue, like, it's terrible. Okay, seriously. Bears colors. Let's
Well,
look it up. Let's
if-
look at this color scheme.
If Brown is the problem, then I know why the Browns have been failing.
Brown and blue.
That's not even like
It's
good
not even
blue.
brown. It's orange.
That's not even a good blue. That's like navy.
It's like,
What the heck?
yeah. Like, who picked
Oh.
these colors?
Nathan,
It's
It-
the stupidest thing.
Nathan,
Wait, they have the actual Pantone brand guideline.
Nathan,
Oh my goodness.
if Brown is the problem, then I know why the Browns have actually kind of.
Blue 53.95 and brown orange 1665. Or if you want the RGB colors, it's 11, 22, 42 and 230 65.0.
It's just
Like-
no.
It what? It's disgusting.
I feel a bit of bias coming in.
Look, do you
Yes,
see
yes.
how bad this look? I mean, look how bad the uniforms look too.
Oh, I know why the Browns have been failing for the past
Like,
25
seriously.
years.
if you had to wear white, blue, and brown on a uniform, would you want to go out there and be like, "Look at my uniform"? Or are you going out there and be like, "This ruining my fashion vibe, guys"?
You know
Like
what? You know what makes it worse?
what?
Playing for a team's name, the Browns.
They're at least brown. I mean, seriously. Okay, let's do it. You've been bringing this up. Browns colors. Yes,
I love
know.
pressing his buttons, y'all.
See, look at the Cleveland Browns are basically, you take the Bengals and you flip it. Okay, it looks all right. It's not my number one go-to scheme, but it's not like horrible. I mean,
I will say the Chiefs and the Packers have some of the cleanest color schemes ever.
yeah. Tampa Bay's got some nice ones too. I like Tampa's color scheme.
I am so glad Tampa Bay switched out like that creamsicle.
oh,
That was
yeah,
that
no
was hard to
kidding.
look at.
That was.
And for
Like, let me see if I can
For-
find it.
for the life of me, Nathan,
Yeah.
I whenever the Steelers wear their striped black and
Yeah.
and yellow uniforms, I can't take them seriously. They look like
Yeah.
a bunch of bumblebees.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, the old
The old
Tampa Bay.
creamsicle. That was
White, orange, red, weird
it,
crap.
it looks like a creamsicle.
It does.
Anyway,
I will say though, the guy like eating the sword,
yeah,
that's kind of cool.
that's kind of baller. I'm not
But-
gonna lie.
I like the sword and pirate stuff.
Right. I like the skull and crossbones kind of vibe they
I mean,
have.
seriously, the red, white, and black uniforms that they have,
Uh-huh.
their red uniforms are really nice, man. Bengals uniforms look freaking crazy.
I know.
They look the Bengals. They look like cheetahs running across the field.
Right.
I mean,
If only
bro,
their-
them things are mean.
If only their quarterback could stay healthy.
Wait. What happened to him?
I think it was like a calf injury or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Because that's what kind of kept the Bengals from really having a season this past year, if I remember right. I like their quarterback, though.
I do too.
I think he's got a couple years to really refine some things, and if he does,
Well,
that dude's gonna be a gunslinger.
anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
they got some beasts in the league right now, though.
right. Now, I think we've kind of talked the season over. I think we kind of laid out what we kind of hope and dream.
Right,
For me, it's real simple. 3-peat, if that can happen.
right.
If the 3-peat can happen, I'll be happy. If it's Chiefs Lions in the Super Bowl and the Lions win, I'm not gonna be upset.
Right.
I mean, I will in the moment, but unless the Chiefs make some really boneheaded plays that are just like then I'll be upset.
Yeah.
Not
we
at the
don't wanna
Lions
see-
winning. Not at the Lions winning. At the Chiefs making boneheaded plays. No.
Ooh, this is ooh. Sorry, I just looked up an article for our next topic, and it just got spicy.
No. We talked about a little bit about some big changes in the political world happening.
Mm-hmm.
There have been some big changes in the sports media world happening.
Yes.
Why don't you start, Nathan?
So, thank you. You'll notice I dip in and out as I'm researching things
Right.
and bringing new information up. So, the end of last week when we tried to record this, we talked about the Inside the NBA show being
Right.
canceled, or at least not in the primetime spot, but battling for the B spot,
Right.
to keep at least some semblance of the show going.
Right.
I think they're gonna get it.
Probably.
But they were kind of questioning which deal they were going to match. And now we know TNT
Right.
matches the Amazon NBA rights deal as the potential Armageddon. The legal Armageddon looms. Basically,
Doobs?
looms.
I heard doobs.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. My
Sweet.
ears don't work sometimes.
Like Vaseline, bro.
Man, college, buddy.
All right.
Let's just keep going.
Yep.
That might be a clip.
Yep, I got the clip. 33 seconds.
Yeah, right. All right, let's go.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway. So TNT, it's a division of Warner Bros. Discovery.
Right.
They announced on Monday, this is from the New York Post, by the way.
Right.
They announced on Monday that they're intending to match an NBA rights deal to keep broadcasting in the league. Now, Disney, ESPN has it. They've got the A package, all right? But NBC and Amazon are emerging as new partners. So there's only two different groups that this deal has been offered to, Zachary. The
Right.
only groups that it is Amazon and Disney. And we already know ain't nobody matching Disney's money. So who did they match? They're matching NBC.
All right.
So I think what's going to end up happening, I really think what's going to end up happening is they're going to take
All right.
the games and I think they're going to trifurcate them between
Uh-huh.
the networks.
Right. Well, that's basically what they did with the NFL between Fox, ABC, and NBC.
Right. I
back
think
in the
that's
day.
what's going to end up happening. And I think ESPN's going to
Yeah.
get every game, or at least every primetime game.
Right.
But NBA and TNT are going to get some games as well.
Right.
And so I think that's a good thing. I think that's healthy because I
I
like
think that's a good thing.
Inside the NBA is one of my favorite TV shows, man.
Right.
So,
All right. Inside the NBA
Yeah.
has provided some like really hilarious moments.
oh my goodness. I mean, it's been going since 1989.
Yeah. But honestly,
That's
not
crazy.
Skip, not Skip. We'll talk about Skip in a moment. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Shaq and Chuck, them two are hilarious together.
Can't forget about Kenny and Ernie though.
Well, Kenny and Ernie are sometimes they play rough, sometimes they just sit there poking the bear.
Well, yeah, Ernie does it a lot more low key than people realize. Like
Right.
if you really listen, Ernie sometimes
Yeah,
kind of keeps the topic going just so he can get the
He-
most wild
right.
comments out of people.
and Kenny does it a lot more overtly. He's he's doing it.
Who's the
but,
better player in high school?
right?
Who drives the better car?
Like
Like what, Kenny?
anyway.
Oh man, there's some great moments.
Now, moving on from NBA, that's really good that they're getting the B basically.
I
B
hope
block.
I hope it actually goes through proper. You know,
Yeah.
that's a big announcement.
Now,
Yeah.
on to something I was researching for the past week and a half because
Yeah.
I saw it. It was reported that Skip Bayless is leaving undisputed in FS1.
He's leaving or he got left.
There are mixing reports. There are mixed reports that Skip is leaving or was left.
Well, so I'm looking at it right now. This is on Yahoo. This was posted on Tuesday, today,
Yep.
or at least at the time of recording.
Right.
It says no, Skip Bayless wasn't fired. So his FS1 contract is ending.
Right.
Um,
And I read a different article that said basically the same thing from
right.
what's this comingsoon.net. It said Skip Bayless wasn't fired. His contract is basically ending.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm taking from the article is that Skip's contract is ending and they're deciding not to renew it.
Right.
So it's
it's a soft firing.
yeah, anyway, it's
Yeah.
a soft firing of they're not really firing him. They're just saying, "Hey, we're not renewing your contract,"
Right.
which
I think is the right move.
it's
for
the
them.
right move for FS1 as a media
Fox
brand.
Sports One, yeah. You know, this is me being tinfoil hat here, Zachary.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the odds that after he's done with FS1 here in the next couple months, what do you think? Do you think that there's going to be some reports about him coming out and his conduct while at Fox?
There could be.
I should
There-
say, I should clarify, specifically towards Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp.
Right. There could be certain events that get let out,
Right.
and I wouldn't be surprised if FS1 quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
one of our people leaked this.
Right.
Basically an intentional. It's basically what it is. It is an intentional leak from
Mhm.
FS1,
Right.
and they'll play it off as accidental, but it's gonna be fully intentional. Just give more reason as to why they're not renewing Skip's
Right.
contract.
Right. Right.
In terms of just the surface level reason,
Mm-hmm.
Undisputed basically since Shannon has left, Undisputed has
Went off the cliff, man.
went off the cliff and flatlined.
Yeah, they
It-
got it.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's bad.
um,
It's really bad right now.
Despite having numerous guests on, including what's his name, the rapper. Lil
Oh
Wayne.
boy. Oh, Wayne. Yeah.
Lil Wayne.
Well, that was just a publicity stunt.
Right.
You know, I mean, Little Wayne. All right, he likes the Packers. I like what Little Wayne for that. And
Right.
okay, I could see why Skip maybe wanted him on just to get
Right.
some ratings, but
Just to get a momentary spike.
that's the thing that you do when you're
Sure.
circling the toilet. Like
Right.
when you know you're about to, it's eat or get eaten,
Right.
and you haven't had some food here in a minute, and you're desperate for a bite.
Right.
That's what you do.
So as far as like surface level, okay, we're not renewing his contract because the show is tanking.
Right.
That's good enough for me. Your
Yeah.
show's not doing good. We're just not going to renew your contract.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what they do with the show after Skip leaves.
I'm excited to see what Skip does. I want to see was the character that he portrayed on the screen just a character and like personally he's fine, or was it actually true to self?
Right. And
That's what I want to see.
at this moment in time, I'll say it this way: at this moment in time, I think the character is more true to life than
I think so too.
Than character.
I think so too.
Um,
Do you think he'll be on Shannon Sharp's podcast?
I don't know.
I think so.
Looking at the way Shannon Sharp behaves while talking about Skip, I'm leaning towards not, because I don't know that Shannon is ready to open
me look
that
it
door. Yeah, ready to open that door again. And I will say, if it happens, Shannon is going to be explicitly clear
Mm-hmm.
on what Skip talks about and how he talks to Shannon.
Right.
I think
Uh-huh.
here's the thing.
Okay.
So, within the last 2 years, I know we've talked about it on the podcast before, of some things that Skip has done.
Yes.
There are two specific things that I think if Skip is on Shannon's podcast, Shannon will say no.
Mm-hmm.
One is he will be clear. He will say, Skip, you are not going to compare my career to anybody else's.
Yep.
You are not going to do that.
Yep.
Number two,
Yep.
the Damar Hamlin situation. You are
Yes.
not.
We're not talking about
You
that
are not
either.
going to sit here. I'm not going to bring it up, but you are not going to sit here and try to defend that stupid tweet you made.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, we've talked about it before. Objectively speaking, Skip had a point that they needed to continue the game.
Objectively, in terms of the rules,
in terms of the rules,
we did bring that up last week.
we did bring that up.
Yeah, when we
But-
tried to record. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the last thing on everybody's mind.
Right.
It was there. It was in the back of everybody's mind. Everybody knew they had to try and continue the game.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the last thing they were thinking about. So, I think those are the two things Shannon's going to be like, you're not going to talk about
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to talk about my career in comparison to anybody else's, and you're not going to talk about
Now,
the Damar Hamlin.
let me play devil's advocate here.
Right.
So I just pulled up an article because Shannon did an interview. Excuse me, an interview on Club Shay Shay. I was
Uh-huh.
trying to get the words out; it wasn't going.
Right.
And with one of the guys he interviewed, that person just
Right.
ripped Skip Bayless to pieces on
Right.
Shannon's podcast. But then Shannon says, "Well, I like where I'm now, so."
Right.
Now, objectively speaking, that's true. So do you think Shannon is going to say, okay, sure, it was an act, but it gave me a platform.
Right.
And if you look at Stephen A., it gave him a platform too.
Right.
So do we want to look at it as Skip Bayless maybe for a while was a kingmaker,
Maybe.
and now he's the one that needed some help, and maybe he's starting to go to, Stephen A. or Shannon Sharp. I think there's a chance. I'll put it this way. I think there's a slight chance that Shannon gives Skip a call, and they
Right.
bury the hatchet.
There's a slight chance.
And given the format of Club Shay Shay, which, by the way, has been culturally defining this year,
Right. And, well, here's the
it's
thing.
crazy, man.
Here's the thing. Like, I get where you're coming from. Yeah. There's a slight chance that there might be some time in the future where they bury the hatchet. But what I was trying to say.
Bro.
But what I was trying to say is it's going to be on Shannon's terms.
Bro.
What?
What if he interviews Donald Trump?
Ha. It's going to be funny.
Or Kamala Harris, or any other, like RFK, anybody.
Right.
What if he interviews them all?
That's going to be fun.
I'm
Now-
just saying, I
No.
think that'd be hilarious.
Now, you mentioned Stephen A. Let me dive into him for a second. I also think that I don't know that Stephen A. and Skip have as much tension in their relationship
Right,
as
right.
Skip
right.
and Shannon do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's mostly Skip's fault. But anyway, I think if the two of them were to bury their hatchet with Skip, it would be on their terms.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon said, "You're not mentioning my career in comparison to Tom Brady or anybody else's, and you're not mentioning DeMar Hamlin."
Mm-hmm.
I think Stephen A. will have a similar set of rules
Right.
of you're coming on my podcast on my terms.
Yep.
You step out of bounds, the podcast gets cut off, and I think
it's
And-
boundaries are necessary.
boundaries are
Yeah.
necessary, and I would not be surprised if the two of them both of them say you cross our boundaries, there will be repercussions.
Yeah.
Skip, whether that be leaks of how he was on set, whether that be other
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
that he might not want in the public eye.
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's enough there that all three of them want everything in the public eye.
Right.
Stephen A. works for ESPN, so he doesn't really have the ability to do that.
Right.
But Shannon can do whatever he wants because it's his company.
Right.
He's killing it, man.
He is.
Shay Media, yeah.
Right. All right.
All right, we're gonna transition out.
I think that's where. I think we're kind of talked out at this point.
Yeah, it's late
Um,
too.
It's very late.
Yeah.
Y'all. Again,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, Merry Christmas whenever you're watching this.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy
Whatever
Arbor
holiday.
Day.
Whatever holiday is
Happy
closest.
Earth Day.
It does the same
Happy
thing.
National Ice Cream Day.
Anyway, if you want to see more videos like this and others, subscribe. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
And right next to it is this little bell thingy.
Hit the
If you-
bell.
If you hit it, it'll ding, and it'll notify you when we go
Yes.
do things like this again.
It notifies you. It's notification worthy.
Right. And
We are your notifications.
also, if you want to support us
Like-
monetarily, like
Comment, subscribe, and pay us money on Patreon.
if you want to support us monetarily, go check out our Patreon in the description. There's several tiers there that you can
Yes.
subscribe to.
Subscribe
And
to them.
get multiple benefits.
Money.
Yeah.
Just send us money. We're shameless about it.
He is.
We want your money.
Anyway,
We're broke. Okay, we're not that broke actually, but
anything else?
we gotta wait for the magical screen to magic.
This always happens.
This
doesn't
app, I know.
It happens every
See,
podcast.
we try to rush through it, and then it's like another. Oh, actually, that wasn't too bad.
That wasn't bad.
All right, guys.
See you later.
Love you mostly. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Do 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 do.